Hello everyone, welcome back to LT Education. In our previous video, we have covered what changes are required in the succession data model to map with the SAP ERP payroll system. Today's videos, we will be covering what changes are required in the corporate data model. So we have six fields. For example, we have six fields. One of them is a location. What is location? Location represents where an employee work. It can include the office location, plant, branch, or work site of the employee. Why this is required? Because SAP payroll system does not use the field location directly. Instead, it used personal areas and personal sub area. So we map the location field from the SuccessFactors system with the personal area sub area of the ERP payroll system. So what changes we need to do in our corporate data model? First of all, we have to export the corporate data model from the provision system or and there we have to open that corporate model with the XML editor, and there we will search for the location field under the relevant HRIS element, job info, and there we have to configure the field to reference the location foundation object. There we have to enable this field, and we have to make it this field as a mandatory and also visible for the as per the business requirement. Second field would be pay grade. What is pay grade? Pay grade defines the salary grade assigned to an employee based on the organization compensation structure. What changes are required? We have to enable the pay grade field in the compensation information section or comp info. We have to reference the pay grade foundation object and make this field uh, as a mandatory field and as a visible field. Why the change is required? Because the pay grade in the employee center is mapped to the ERP payroll fields such as pay skill group and pay skill type depending on the implementation of the system. This ensures salary administration remain consistent across both the system. Pay range. Pay range defines the salary range available within a particular pay grade. Changes required. We have to enable the pay range field. We have to make it visible and mandatory and link it to the pay range foundation object. Why this is required? Because typically it is mapped to the pay skill level field in info type 8 of the employee. This helps ERP payroll identify the employee salary band with the assigned pay grade. Legal entity represents a legal employer responsible for hiring and paying the employee, basically the company. What is the company name? In the corporate order model, enable the legal entity field under employment information associate with the legal entity foundation object. Configure this field as a mandatory because every employee must belong to a legal employer. Why this is required? Because it is one of our most important integration field, which is generally mapped with the company code and with payroll area in many implementations and financial reporting structure. Without the correct legal entity mapping, payroll processing cannot be performed for the employees. Job classification defines the type or job or position an employee performs within the organization. We have to enable the job classification field in job information, reference the job classification foundation object, and we have to make this field as a visible and a mandatory field as per our business requirement. Job classification are generally mapped in the SAP payroll system with the job key, position attribute, or employee subgroup determination. This helps maintaining the consistency between employee central and ERP HR data. Cost center identifies the department or business unit responsible for employee salary expenses. We have to enable the cost center field, link it to the cost center foundation object, and configure it as a mandatory because it will require for the payroll posting. Cost center is directly mapped to the ERP cost center master data during payroll processing. Salary expenses are posted to correct cost center. Financial accounting receive accurate payroll posting information. Controlling reports employee cost directly. So these are mainly the mandatory fields in which we have to make the changes so that our uh, success factor system can successfully integrate with the payroll system and so that the proper payroll processing can take place. This is basically a quick summary. Location. This for location field, we have to enable field and reference the location with the foundation object. It is typically mapped with the personal and persons of area in the ERP system. Pay grade is mapped with pay scale group or its equivalent. Pay range mapped with the pay scale level. Legal entity is basically an ERP system considered as the company code. Job classification. So job related fields, cost center is mapped with the cost center. Also make sure you maintain the correct length for these field in the while editing the corporate data model so that which can be uh, consistent with the ERP field length. Thank you for watching this video. If you need this PDF file or the doc file, please message me on the LinkedIn. I will share it with you. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Bye.